In her feelings, who could be present and loving and trusting and fearless. Where did it go? And all those people said, think this, believe that, do this, do that. This is how you should think. It went away and hibernated. It's still in there.
Yeah.
So here goes, second part of the paradox. You are indeed perfect as you are. That's the important part, because the world would have you believe you're not. Do you know why the world would have you believe you're not? Why would the world have you believe you're not perfect as you are? Do you know there's an amazing thing? I don't usually talk about this, it just comes to my head. Has anybody here heard of the manufacture of discontent? Yes, fantastic. So, let me share with you. The manufacture of discontent was in the 60s, I think, when big companies actually manufactured discontent with women for their own bodies so that they could tell them, this is not good enough to be like this, you have to look like this. And once you've got to look like this, then they came up with another shape. You've got to look like this until you're basically anorexic and dead, right? So, surprise, surprise, 95% of women are not happy with their bodies, right? And the number of, I don't know what the figures is for anorexia, but it's like ridiculously high for people with eating disorders, okay? So the world would have you believe that you're not perfect as you are, so that they can sell you things to make you believe that you'll feel perfect as you are when you buy them. Here's the two lies in that. A, you are perfect as you are, and B, if they trick you and tell you you're not, you'll never find happiness by buying something else or by getting something outside of yourself. You will continue looking for happiness everywhere else except where it is. Where is happiness? In yourself. Here's a young person, you see, he knows. Young people are still nearer to their birth, which is enlightenment. That young person knows the truth much better than all of us, I guarantee you. Now watch. Now watch. What's your name? Camille. Hi Camille. How are you doing? Okay. You speak English? Okay. So I'm going. Okay. So will you translate for me? Okay. Camille. Do you know that there never was and there never will be another Camille like you? She knows. She knows. We may have forgotten about ourselves, but she knows that, right? Because she's still close to her enlightenment. Before we started pumping people with beliefs. Now, if she's lucky, her daddy will not impose his beliefs on her. If she's one of the lucky ones, right? But we, most of us, were not. We were imposed on by our parents and by society. So here's the second part of the paradox. You are perfect as you are. And her daddy knows. You know that she's perfect as she is.
You're fully right. You're absolutely right.
Right?
You're fully
now
right.
You were perfect as you were to your parents. When did it stop? When did it stop? Do you understand? When did you stop thinking you were perfect? When you constantly came up against all the people in your life that said you're not. And you paid for it dearly by watching advertisements on television and papers. Right? If you want inner peace, my friends, the first thing you do is chuck out your television. Chuck them. They are sewers for your mind. Right? What about what? What's that? Okay, you can watch Bargain Hunt, but only Bargain Hunt. Now look, seriously. Okay, so this gentleman says, Neil says, I'm really bad at remembering names. Neil says, what about Bargain Hunt? Now, firstly, I love humour, so I'm going to tell you a quick joke, right? Oh, not again, a different one. I'll try and think of a different one, okay? I have to keep it for the crowd. You've got one. Oh, he's telling me to tell the joke. They're going to go by the time you told them.
Jesus walks into a motel and puts 2 nails in the
Okay, Jesus. Okay, he said this. So if anyone's going to crucify anyone, it's him. I find this joke terribly obnoxious. So Jesus, this is his joke. Jesus goes to a motel, he puts 2 nails on the desk, and he says, "Can you put me up for the night?" Okay, now listen to this, because we're going to go into blasphemy just for a second. Yeah? You see, the Danish cartoon. Yeah? To me, what happened with the Danish cartoons was in itself blasphemous. Why? It's like God is the totality of all existence. If Muhammad was as great as they say he was, which I don't doubt, why would it bother him if someone wrote some cartoons about him? Why on earth would it bother him? I don't think it would. So those people who protest about it, what are they saying about Muhammad? Okay, so here goes. If you can't laugh at yourself, you've really lost it. So coming back to what I was saying before I lose myself in it, right? What the hell was I saying? Can someone help me? What was I saying? Paradox, okay? He knows that she's perfect. Your mother knew that you were perfect. Somewhere along the line, you bought into the lie that you're not. You are. And I'm here to remind you that you are indeed perfect as you are, just as I am. And when I remind you of that, I remind myself of that. Hold on a second now. I said, chuck out the televisions. That's what I remember now. And he says, what about Bargain Hunt? Now you see, Bargain Hunt is just another way of getting you to stop engaging in your own life. Who cares about Bargain Hunt? Bargain Hunt is about saving money. Saving money is not going to save your life. Now here goes. I'm getting lost now myself. Any questions? Well,
If you believe you're perfect, why would you try and improve yourself?
okay, great question. There's the question, guys. He says if you think that you're perfect, why would you try to improve yourself? Okay, so here's the answer, right? Let me think. Actually, no. Before I share with you my answer, has anybody got a response to him? Yes. Oh, I see. So you're taking the line of you do it because the media and religion say you should do. That's what he's saying. But you're not really asking that. Right? No, he's okay. That's a good point. But he's asking, why, if I'm suggesting that you're perfect as you are, would you want to improve yourself? Why should you improve yourself? Right? That's what the question. Okay. So what is your answer to the question?
No, I'm asking you.
I know, I understand, and that's the problem. Yes, sure.
Why are you using the word perfect? Because I don't think that perfect is something that you can actually achieve. It's just a concept created maybe by people trying to manufacture the poor body image as something that you want.
Okay, I get the question.
I don't know that. Why do we have to be perfect?
Okay, fine. So the question here was, why am I using the word perfect? Perfect reminds him of the type of thing we were talking about, the manufacture of discontent. That the big companies have created a perfect body, for example, yeah, and for us to try and be like that, yeah. Okay, so here, maybe I haven't explained myself. I'm talking about perfection in a different way entirely. See, my definition of perfection is this. See, take the glasses off. My definition of perfection is looking at you and realizing that there is nothing that you need to do in order for you not to be perfect as you are right now. You understand? It's by definition you are perfect. What do I mean by perfection? I mean that even if I add a little bit more or take away a little bit, it wouldn't make the blindest bit of difference. It's perfect as it is right now. I don't need to add or take away. Okay? And in fact, unconditional love, which some people would describe as God, yeah, from the position of unconditional love, there is nothing you could possibly do or not do that could take away from that love, because it's unconditional. Okay? So, coming back to your question, which was, the question was, well, if I'm saying you're perfect, why improve yourself? Okay, so here's my response. We are like young trees. We are like young trees. Yeah? A young tree doesn't say to itself, oh boy, look at that big tree over there, it's better than me, I must be better. All it does is grow. So here I'm saying that you will improve yourself simply because that is the natural flow of things. Improve perhaps is the wrong word. What I'm talking about here is becoming more of yourself. You see, when other people try and crush you like they do around here, by trying to convince you to think like they think, yeah, you lose yourself. You become less of yourself in the defense of that belief. When the media try and convince you of things, you lose yourself. And you go and pay for that, guys. You pay to lose yourself, right?